It worked. We're here at SaaS Stock East Coast. We got Patrick Campbell, founder and CEO at Profitwell, pricing expert, willingness to buy, SaaS metrics genius.
Something like that, yeah.
Also a bootstrapper.
Bootstrapped for life, not for life maybe, I don't know. It's a tool.
So far, and very
yeah.
impressive.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it.
So one of the things that I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
is because I know you did a lot of the selling in the early days of Profitwell.
Yeah.
At some point you have to graduate from founder-based selling, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have trouble with that transition.
Totally.
So like, how did you go about, what were some of the hiccups there? How did
Yeah.
you go about trying to like replicate what you did well?
Totally. I think for me, it was a lot of, so I get really excited by the early part of a sale and probably like the mid part of the sale, like really just evangelizing the concept and getting people excited about the thing that we're selling. I'm terrible. I don't think I'm terrible, but I'm definitely not great at like the closing part, which I know is a pretty important part of sales. But so I think the first thing was like obviously doing the selling myself first, then bringing on like someone to lead sales. That was our first hire, my first hire essentially. And that person, basically we would tag team a lot of those deals. So he would just kind of osmosis, very typical of like, your first couple reps or your first couple AEs, where he would pick up everything from osmosis. But then for a long time, we would tag team stuff, where I would come in, kind of get the buyer really excited about stuff. And I was also the person who was going to be fulfilling and being the customer success person, so that worked out really well. And then as we started to scale into kind of a little bit of a traditional like BDR to AE type sales model, what he ended up doing is starting to invest a lot in content. So we do a lot of video first content, audio first content, a lot of written content, and that allowed both people to kind of see and get excited because it kind of like replicated that in-room experience. And then I still like, in some cases I'll go speak, we do a lot of workshops, we do a lot of different things, and so I can do that kind of one-to-many now. And then we have a team of sales folks who are good at the evangelism as well, but then can like, basically they're getting a very warm lead once they come in, after we've run kind of a, inbound playbook that's a little bit more on steroids than anything.
So you mentioned that you weren't the best at closing.
Yeah.
Which I can relate to.
Yeah. I think I still am not the best. I mean, it's okay that I'm okay at it, but I think it's know your strengths and know what you're good at. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, and I think that's insightful. So, but when you went to hire your first hire was your first sales hire.
Yeah, it was a little bit more.
How did you like find that person? How did you needed a closer, but like what else?
Well, so hindsight's 20/20, right? Like I don't know if I like consciously was like, I need a closer. Let me go find this person. But I basically looked at the business and it was just me, and so we were doing a bunch of different things, and then trying to decide based on those. We'll wait for the truck to pass. We're in New York. We're on the street talking about sales. You can see the truck in the background there. But basically what we did is I was like, what is the thing that I know I'm going to be weaker at, and what is the thing I'm going to be stronger at? And I knew developing the product, customer success, the content, all that stuff, I was definitely going to be stronger at, or at least I knew that I needed to figure those things out.
Yep.
The easiest, and easiest in quotes, thing to do was to find the salesperson. And so it actually like kind of classic first couple hires was like, it was my ex-girlfriend's neighbor, and there was a Boston snowstorm, and we ended up at a bar actually, and like that's when I first met Peter. And Peter, he's more than just like a sales hire. I mean, he's the GM of one of our products, and like, he's more of a co-founder than anyone out there. And so it's one of those things where it's like a little bit different, and it worked out, but there's a little bit of luck and a little bit of like, self-introspection about, hey, maybe I'm not the best person for this role, let's hire that person.
So if you want to be the first sales hire at a very early stage startup, you got to find the founders.
Find the founders and convince them they're terrible. If they don't think they're terrible, then you should find another founder, basically. Yeah.
Right, and move on.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, thanks for sharing the insights.
Absolutely,
man. It's good to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.